Hello YouTube, Starguy1001 here, and in this part of, this is the second part of the planeschase 2012 Night of the Ninja deck overview. In the last video, we went over the main deck with Veil of the Nightclad. Ooh, isn't she sexy? And in this part, I'm just gonna touch up on the land base here since I didn't have time in the last video because my phone was filling up. We've got 2 Royal Refuge, 2 Demir Aqueduct, 1 Terramorphic Expanse, 1 Tainted Isle, 9 swamps, 9 islands. Now, that's just the basic land package without modifications. If you guys want to see what I was going to modify it and how I was going to do that, then check the last video that I put up, because that's where the modifications are. Now then, on to the planes. As some of you may or may not know, the game of Magic the Gathering actually doesn't take place on Earth or any of the multiple planes specifically. It actually takes place in the huge, gigantic bottle of fun that's called the multiverse collectively. Now, what the multiverse is it is different planes suspended in a substance called aether. And aether is the matter between planes, what planeswalkers have to go through. And in Planeswalker and in Planeschase, you have the planar die. Planar die has the Planeswalk symbol and the Chaos symbol. Whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, this Chaos effect happens. Now, what that does is determined by whatever plane you're on, like Takanuma. Whenever you roll Chaos, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. That's always nice. And I'll go on with how the planes affect this deck specifically later on. Whenever you roll the Planeswalk die, you flip planes. And I'll go through them here real quick. You have Takanuma. Whenever a creature leaves the battlefield, its controller draws a card. That helps with your ninjutsu, because whenever you ninjutsu something out of play to put a ninja in, you draw a card. Or whenever you return something with, like, Walker of Secret Ways, you draw a card. So that's always fun. Also, if something dies, its controller draws a card. It's very, very nice card advantage. Now the next one we have is Bloodhill Bastion. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it gains double strike and haste until end of turn. And then Chaos, whenever you roll Chaos, exile a non-token creature you control and return to the battlefield under your control. Now what this does with the ninjutsu is whenever I throw something in, like, say, Mistblade Shinobi. It's a 1/1, so they wind up taking 2 damage since it has double strike, and since it dealt damage twice, I get to return 2 creatures. So it's a double unsummon for the price of 1. Very nice. Gavany, this is from Innistrad. All creatures have vigilance. Whenever you roll Chaos, creatures you control are indestructible this turn. So that's always nice, because I get to swing in, and then I get to leave, and then I'm left open to block with. Quicksilver Sea. Whenever you planeswalk to Quicksilver Sea, or at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 4. And then Chaos, whenever you roll Chaos, reveal the top card of your library. You may play it without paying its mana cost. Very, very powerful. The Zephyr Maze. Creatures with flying get +2/+0, and creatures without flying get -2/-0. Whenever you roll Chaos, target creature gains flying until end of turn. That's kind of interesting considering that we've already seen the deck and there weren't really all that many flyers in it. Oh well. I guess that's why the Chaos ability is there. And then you have Glen Alendra. At the end of combat, you may exchange control of target creature you control with combat, or that dealt combat damage to a player this combat, and target creature that player controls. Chaos, whenever you roll Chaos, gain control of all creatures you own. So that is a particularly very, very nasty. Because it's like, oh, I'll poke you with a 1/1 Wandering Soul, or Tormented Soul, and steal your Ulamog, or your Kozilek, or your Primeval Titan, or, you know, whatever else I want. Fun, huh? Oh, and Chaos, so I get my thingy back too. Sweet. Norn's Domain. This is from New Phyrexia. Whenever you planeswalk away from Norn's Domain, destroy each permanent without a fate counter on it. Then remove all fate counters from all permanents. Whenever you roll Chaos, you may put a fate counter on target permanent. So that one's kind of risky. Doesn't really interact with Ardex specifically, but nice nonetheless. Karasha Foothills. Whenever a creature you control attacks a player, for each other opponent, you may put a token that's a copy of that creature onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that opponent. Exile those tokens at the beginning of the next end step. So, massing huge armies here, that's kind of scary. Whenever you roll Chaos, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. If you do, Crush or Foot Heals deals damage to target creature. Nice. And since it's the plane that's dealing damage, protection won't help you unless, of course, you're Progenitus and you have protection from everything. Morphic Tide. This is one of the 2 new phenomenons that come in this deck. And that's what's new with the planeschase 2012, is we now have phenomenons. Because whenever you're going through the Aether, funny things tend to happen. And this one is Morphic Tide. Whenever you encounter Morphic Tide, each player shuffles all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then reveals that many cards from the top of his or her library. Each player puts all artifacts, creatures, lands, planeswalker cards revealed this way onto the battlefield. Then does the same for enchantment cards. Then puts all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield on the bottom of his or her library, in any order. Then planeswalk away from this phenomenon. So it's basically like a mass polymorph, only you don't sacrifice anything, so that's kind of nice. Interplanetary Tunnel. Whenever you encounter Interplanetary Tunnel, reveal cards from the top of your planar deck until you reveal 5 plane cards. Put a plane card from among them on top of your planar deck, then put the rest of the revealed cards on the bottom in a random order. So it's a peer through depths for your planar deck. That's really, really nice. Because it allows you to control, like, oh, I want to go to Takanuma next. So there you have it. There are your planes for Night of the Ninja. And it's a really, really fun deck to play as is. But after those modifications that I made in the last video, I think it'll be a bit more effective. So thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.